Back again. They're coming thick and fast now, these men in the vans. Once again, before I get cracking, you can see who our guest is, and I'm excited to talk to Dylan about what he's been up to the last couple of years and going forward. Big shout out to these guys, FXR, who get behind what we do. And, of course, Relaxtorace. Wouldn't be able to do it without these guys. Also, as I've mentioned before, several times on this now, check this out. You can basically trade in your old Bell crash helmet, no matter how battered and bruised it is. Take it to the local Bell dealer. You can just go on their website, find out who the local dealers are on the RaceFX website. Take in your old beaten, battered Bell and trade it in, and you'll get 20% off a brand new Bell helmet. Well worth doing. Right. So make sure you do that if you've got basically an old tattered, battered Bell helmet. Right. Oh, he's disappeared. Where's he gone off my screen? That's a shame. Dylan, where you gone? We've lost him. Hold on. The big build up, and he's back in the room.
Yeah, I can't really hear you. It's like breaking in and out.
Is it? Okay. Have you got any I wonder if you can plug some headphones in. What about now? Is this a trouble with this bloody COVID? You see, have spoiled it for us. You should be.
Yeah, I'll try headphones.
You should be sat in the van with me, but poxy COVID is making life difficult for everybody, including doing these things. But
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be just connection, whatever. We'll run with it. Let's roll with it. You're a busy man. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Dylan, welcome to Man in the Van. It's great to have you on the show. As I said, been wanting to talk to you proper really since you kind of cropped up in the UK. So first of all, tell us how that happened. How did you end up, what was it? Not last year, because this year's been a write-off. So you kind of arrived in the UK at what? Tail end of 2017, 18?
Tail end of 18, yeah. I was originally riding during the year for Digger Procross Husqvarna in the EMX 250 Championship. And yeah, throughout the year, we were always pitted right next to Revo, because they were doing the Europeans with two riders. And yeah, I just always got speaking with them because they're English, and it's just good to speak English with someone. And then halfway through the year they said, they want to go to MX2. Would I like to go? And I said that was my goals, and we spoke about it for a while. Then we got a deal together, and then they asked me, because my contract finished, I think one of the British, where their last round was like sometime in October, so I could race it. So I just jumped in and did a one-off race for them to see how the British Championship would go, and everything was really good, and we had a pretty solid year together after that.
I'd say. Listen, I got to know Josh Coppins pretty well because actually me and Josh, we did our first GP together. So my ever first GP was Talavera in Spain in 95, and it was also Josh Coppins' first ever GP. So he was sort of cruising around the pits trying to find, people that spoke English and whatever. So, and I asked Josh then, what is it like for a Kiwi? It's just such a huge commitment. Anybody in Europe to go and race GPs, you might have to leave home, but you don't move far. Like British riders would go and move to Belgium. It's not, you can just jump in a car and whiz home.
Yeah.
Huge commitment. How did you find that whole first thing of going, right, is it just a Kiwi thing? You guys are just Townley, loads of you have to do it, but it seems to give you this steely determination to succeed.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot more difficult for us, and just let alone getting out to New Zealand's hard because we're so far away. The commitment, obviously, from an early age, you got to commit quite early. But my first year in Europe was actually terrible. Like, the deal I had, things didn't really go well, and I was in a bad place. My riding, I didn't even know what European Championship was, and I jumped into it, and everything was everything just didn't go to plan, and I just wasn't happy. So that was hard. But then, the year after, I got on a better team and with better people, and then I went to Revo. It got better as I went on. But it was 3 years. First 3 years, I think it was, I didn't see any family. So that was a little bit tough. But I left New Zealand at 15 and went to America for a couple of years. So I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with my family, in the last 7 years. So it's kind of got normal for me now.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, but still, 15. You know, you're not. Let's be honest. You're not completely wet behind the ears at 15. You know, you're still going through the whole thing of becoming a young man, and then was it just you on your own, or did any family members come out with? I mean, you know, or did you pack your bag and wave goodbye at the airport? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah. I told, well, from an early age, I told my parents this is what I want to do, and like I wrote my goals down, and so then the time came when I think I did my last junior championship in New Zealand, and I won like the 5 out of 5 races, and each moto was by over a minute. So my dad was like, "Well, we got to do something, like, unless you're going to get stuck in the zone here."
Yeah.
And I always spoke about going to MTF, and it was a dream of mine to go there. And happened so that year, Colleen came to New Zealand to do a training for a weekend, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to do this." So we did it, and we spoke to Colleen there, and we wanted to do something, and she said, "Yeah, for sure, let's like make it happen." So we did, and then my dad said, "Okay, we're going to do it. We'll send you over." So he sent me over, and I got there, and I was actually too young to do anything. Like, Colleen had to sign the papers to be my godmother.
Christ.
Yeah, I was not old enough to have like a bank account or even get a phone plan. Couldn't drive, so that was difficult. But they sent me there, and it wasn't so tough not being apart away from my family, because I was waking up, training, riding, training, sleeping. Like, it was literally my whole dream, and it was happening. So I was loving that. The hardest part was, I'd never cooked before when I got there. I never cleaned my clothes.
That's a common one, right?
Yeah, I had done nothing, and then because my mum did everything for me when I was in New Zealand, so that was a shock. And then it was even just like figuring out insurance, and then when if I got hurt and I had to go to the doctor, you have to have insurance in America, or you're gonna get stung,
Right.
and doing the paperwork for that. And then times got a little bit tough, so there was a mechanic actually at MTF, and he does all like the kids could drop their bikes off, get washed, serviced, and ready for the next day. And he was in such high demand. He asked me, like, "Do you want to help out?" So then every day I'd train, ride, train, then I'd go up to the workshop and then wash all the bikes for the mechanic after prepping my bike and sleep. So it was a pretty full on day, but I was making
That's pretty cool, though.
like
I
10
mean,
I washed it, so it was helping me get by.
yeah, but also, I mean, you know, what better way to learn than life experiences? So, at a young age, you're starting to fend for yourself, understand more about what goes into, you know, the other side of the sport, the team side and the mechanic side. So it must have been a really good education for you. And of course, you know, like Colleen over there, you know, they're renowned for doing an amazing job. You know, so you know when you was over there, do you feel like now looking back? You probably, although it didn't go exactly to plan regards of picking up a sponsored ride and everything straight away your first term in America and whatever, but do you think that is such an integral part now of giving you the focus and who you are, because you learned so much in that at that period?
Yeah, definitely. It's not only the racing side of things. Like, I just grew up as a person, learned a lot, and then the racing side of it, they taught me so much with technique and having a structure. Yeah, I definitely don't regret it. It's probably one of the best moves that I've made so far.
Yeah, because it does. It just makes you grow up quicker, I suppose. So it gets you. Because how old are you now?
22.
22. You see, so I mean, this is the thing. I guess a lot of people that follow our sport still think that you've got to crack it completely by like 17, 18, or you haven't got a chance. But that's not exactly true. Just because it happened to the likes of Hurlins and Roxon, it's not the same route for everybody, is it? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
You've been coming strong certainly the last year. I mean, you've had a bit of a journeyman sort of time of it, really, haven't you? Because I didn't know that you'd been to America prior to coming to the UK. I thought, but so that was an thing, just to leave New Zealand and go straight there. So what happened then out there? Did you obviously at that point was looking for rides and trying to make something happen, but it didn't really
Well,
ignite?
it actually straight after Nations last year, it went pretty hectic for me. I thought I was staying with Revo, but obviously things stopped there. Then I had a deal almost finalized in Europe, and then it fell through the last second. So then I was like, okay, I'm going home. So I flew back to New Zealand, and then I spoke to Coppins in New Zealand and Yamaha New Zealand, Australia, and we sorted out a deal to race for the factory Yamaha 250 team in Australia.
Yeah.
And then just before Christmas, I went testing there, and it went okay. And I came back and raced their bike in New Zealand, and we did that. And then the pandemic hit, and so on the Australian side, they couldn't commit to my contract. So then I said, okay,
Wow.
that's that. I wish them the best, and I said I can't continue. I couldn't even get into the country anyway, so it didn't really work. So they released me, and then that day I booked a flight to America for the day after. But at the time I was staying with the Townleys, and he said, "Yeah, you need to get there and just have a crack at it." So I called up Roger Larson at 7. I said, "I'm coming to America." He said, "No, you're not." I said, "I'm coming to America. I'm coming to stay." I was like, "Can you pick me up from LAX?" He said, "No, you're not getting a no chance." I was like, "I'm coming." So I got on the flight the next day. Nobody on the plane. No one.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I landed, and the customs guys, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm riding some motorbikes and my girlfriend." And and he goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, I've just been made redundant. I've got a few months off, so I'm going to make the most of it." He goes, "Everything's closed here." I said, it's the motocross tracks are open." He said, "Nah." I was like, "No, they are." He goes, "All right, suit yourself." So I got in.
And were they? Were the tracks still open at that time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So then I got a bike from Aaron Nixon. He lent me his bike, and I was just riding, and it was obviously a stock bike, and I was just riding, and everyone, because Swanepoel does my training program over there, so I was riding with those boys, and I was having a fair good crack, and everyone was like, "Yeah, like, oh, who's this?" And then all the pro circuit boys got hurt. So then I met with Mitch, and he put me on a pro circuit bike. It was 1:30. Like he said, meet me at the track at 11:30. So I get there, like most nervous day of my life.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and every single factory team is there. So I get on this bike, and
So where did you, just very quickly, where did you go for the test? Up at their
Glen Helen in front of everyone.
their private.
No, not private.
Oh, you were just out on the big track because they've got that Supercross track.
Yeah,
up there.
yeah. No, it was the big track, and everybody was there. So
yeah,
I jumped on it, and it was it was an amazing bike, obviously, and I thought I rode really well, and everyone was like pretty stoked with me. But then I waited. He goes, "Oh, I'll let you know." I heard he was testing a couple other kids, and it like 7 to 10 days went by, and I hadn't heard. And I was, but then I heard that like a lot of people were stoked on how I was riding, and yeah, it didn't end up planning out for some reason. He said he was super stoked with my riding and everything, but he has to do what's best for the team. So I didn't really know the reason for not getting that spot. So then I was pretty down at that point, and then we tried to get the passenger fill in for the rest of the outdoors on the Yamaha 450.
Oh man, so you were out there like putting yourself in the shop window big time.
Yeah, and the guys there at Yamaha were keen on that, and then Monster came back and said they wanted someone with more 450 experience. So, because I had never raced the 450 at this time.
Yeah.
So that shut that door, and Sam at Revo called me and said, "Oh, we have a bike here you can ride with Matt Smith." And then, yeah, Mark at Revo said, "Oh, I'll pay for your flights." So then the next day, I booked flights, came over, went to Sam's, got off the plane, straight to the track, rode, and then I think I rode one more time, and then I raced to Hawkstone. So, yeah, and that was pretty good for what it was. Like, it was no time on the bike and whatnot, and we had a little bit of a shock issue, but that was, yeah, we found a problem there. And then that Wednesday, the Wednesday before that rocket,
Yeah.
that race, Jackie called me and asked if I wanted to fill in. So I done that race, and the next day drove
That
to
was
Jackie.
literally the day before Rocket Till Sundown. You got a call from Jackie Martin.
Actually, the drive down there.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder you also thought to play it safe, because we were just talking before we came on here that how the heavens opened and the track got a bit greasy and whatever. I don't blame you for thinking, I've got a GP ride on the go here. Can you imagine if you'd have gone out and then got the phone call from Jackie and then done yourself in? Don't blame you for fucking it up. Yeah. So then that was it. What Christ? I mean, a lot of people this year have had odd years. Let's be honest, it's not been a normal year for everybody, but man, you've had a roller coaster.
Yeah, I've had one hell of a year, but it's a year that I haven't let an opportunity slide. I've chased every opportunity. I've jumped on it. I've got no regrets, and that's the thing. Like, when I'm older, I'm not gonna regret nothing, because I've chased everything, and I've just kept trying.
Well, that's the saying, isn't it? It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do. So
exactly,
I think that's fair. Well, you certainly chased down every opportunity. I mean, I think that's nuts. Traveling around the world when everything else was shut down, that is rolling the dice, man.
Yeah,
fair play.
And we actually tried to sort out racing the first 7 rounds East Coast Supercross for next year with Revo and a few other sponsors, but that got cut short.
Yeah,
because I can't get into the country now because of the COVID thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So then the Cowie Revo 7 thing came up overnight. So another bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll get onto that in a minute. I want to go back to when you just said to the story up to the point when you obviously done. So Jackie Martins gives you the call, come and ride our event and whatever, and you think, Chris, got to get back over to Belgium now. So you're whizzing all around Europe in COVID, which isn't easy at all. So obviously that panned out because you ended up riding for them. So just talk us through your GP experiences this year. I mean, before you mention it, I'm going to bring it up. To lead some of those races, as you said, you're not a 450 rider, and obviously 450s are a bit more tiring, but man, you showed that the pace and desire there. I mean, to lead a couple of motos and for as long as you did and how you did, that must have helped your confidence, but also sort of put you on the map a bit more. And in the back of your mind, probably thinking all this running around and all this effort is starting to sort of root. At that time, I meant, did you feel like you belonged there in that MX1 class?
Yeah, no, the Jackie opportunity, I jumped at that too, and I just tried to make the most of it. It was obviously really hard because I hadn't had a preseason. I hadn't had a winter. I hadn't had a winter on a 450. Just as when I left New Zealand to go to America, I was training Supercross every day. So that was the GP bike fitness wasn't there, but I knew I can start really well, and I just wanted to get better in each race. And when I pulled a couple hole shots, it was one of the best feelings, like just doing that and leading. And then obviously that Mantova Moto was that was the best memory so far, or actually probably one of the best memories of my career.
Yeah.
Just leading, just finishing one lap and then going for another lap, and then oh shit, we'll go for another one. Just that, and I actually did not breathe the whole time. And the Honda clutch is really fragile. Like, you've always got to be playing with it. Now I didn't even think about it. Just completely ruined it. I was having the time of my life, and proved to myself that I can be there, and with a good winter, I feel like I could be a regular top 10 guy in the GP class. So that was awesome.
Yeah. Must have given you such a confidence. So this is it, I mean, so your 250 career, really, I mean, not to say you've still got time to go, well, not in GPs as such. So it obviously seems like now with the Revo 7 Kawasaki thing that the time is right to now you're ready to move up to this, from 250 to 450, and it all sounds pretty promising. I was actually speaking to Mark this week. Obviously, Mark Yates, you're a team boss there, and he was sort of saying that he's excited to be back in it. Obviously, you're a talent that is more than capable of winning the British Championship. You're already a British MX2 champion, but it looks like you're going to have a nice balance of doing some British races, but also try and slot in a few GPs as well. He was telling me.
Yeah. Obviously, the main goal was to win the British Championship, and I think we're going to do. I think they've scheduled 5 or 6 GPs at the moment, but I know Mark, if it's all going well and it's good, he'll end up wanting to do more. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm really excited for it. I know they're going to build a good bike, and we're going to look pretty trick with 7, and it's going to be a good.
So what was your impressions? I mean, going back to 2019, had you ever been to the UK up until that point? Or was that your first time here to come? You just come straight in and started racing, or have you ever been to the UK before that?
I was actually born in Kent.
Okay. See, this is good. This is why I like doing these man vans where I don't research anything, because I like to find stuff out as we go along. As I've said to you, it's like just conversation. That's what it's all about. So you are technically, well, not British, but you were born in Kent. Whereabouts in Kent?
Chatham Hospital.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I spent the first 3 years of my life here, and then both my parents are British also, and I've got an older sister that's British.
Right.
And we moved to New Zealand when I was 3. Yeah, and I spent 3 till 15 in New Zealand.
Well. So it's more like a homecoming.
Yeah. So my dad,
you're part of the Chatham Massive, like with the Bruces and all them lot.
Yeah. So my dad he never raced, but he loved motocross, and he'd always go watch Canada Heights. So going to Canada Heights last year was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, I should imagine it was.
But
obviously you were 3, so you wouldn't have known. But what? So what was your take on it? How does British motocross, as in its functionality, compared with what you got going on over in New Zealand? Because I guess in New Zealand it runs more of a. I've never raced in New Zealand, been to New Zealand, but never raced. I guess it's got more of a sort of American type format as it in New Zealand, like shorter races and stuff like that, and the tracks. I mean, I've seen some of the tracks, and New Zealand, obviously, haven't been to New Zealand. If you've never been, obviously you have, but if anybody watching, if you've never been, put it on your bucket list. It's unbelievable. I drove around New Zealand, both islands, but particularly the South Island, just looking out of the window going, Oh my God, what a motocross track you could have there. I mean, just everywhere you look is unbelievable. So how
Yeah,
did you find the tracks in the UK compared with New Zealand?
yeah. Compared to New Zealand, they're a lot different. New Zealand has really nice tracks. Yeah, everywhere they're good tracks. And
Yeah,
the UK, I liked all the old school tracks. So like I love Fox Hills. I loved Hawkstone, Desert Martin, Landrake.
yeah,
They were my favorite tracks. I wasn't a huge fan of Blacksall or Fat Cats,
yeah.
so I actually quite like the majority of the tracks here in the UK. But the thing I've always found strange since I've been here is all the different championships. Compared to New Zealand, you have one championship and that's it. So when I was in 18, I was looking at the championships in England. I couldn't figure out who was the
Mm.
British champion.
Oh,
I'd
this
seen
is why I asked you. This is exactly to
yeah,
get your opinion on it.
I've seen 3 MX2 like 250 champions, but I didn't actually from an outside I didn't know which one was the British champion. So then I figured out when I'm racing here last year, but that's what I found different. And in New Zealand we have a lot of the juniors and we call them seniors in New Zealand, but the
Yeah,
pros we have the same events. Like you have them the same 2-day events and the senior and pros.
yeah. It's good that you like the tracks though, because there are a fair few down the years, both that have come and raced the British Championship and not be, such a lover of some of our venues and whatever. Obviously, I knew you liked Foxhill just because I remember watching you roll out for practice there, and I watched you for the first couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps, and I was thinking after that, and obviously, you're quite relaxed and loose, and let's be honest, you do like a good turn down and a good whip.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
don't mind
thinking,
one.
I remember watching you the first couple of laps, and you was already laying it down. I was thinking, oh yeah, now they're right there. There's a rider that's enjoying himself out there. I mean, because that first tabletop down into the valley. I mean, you were laying some grease on when you were going over that every
Yeah, I
lap.
think
Brilliant pictures from that jump actually of you, isn't there? Like Haggis, Hartman, and Mel,
yeah
some good ones.
the best one's just after the whole shot.
Yeah.
I threw a pretty dirty one with everyone. Yeah,
Oh,
that
I
was mine.
remember it. I remember it. It was almost insulting. There was somebody a long time, and you whipped it so much. I mean, they literally you just took their airspace away. I can't remember who was alongside you, but it was pretty.
I think it was actually my teammate, to be honest.
Oh, it was. It's
Yeah,
pretty tidy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was insane. So clearly, I mean, you like you on a bike that's all about you. So how are you finding the adaptation from the weight of a 250 to the 450? Have you noticed it considerably, like the weight and all that? Have you had to feel like you've had to change your style a bit, or are you going to change your style a bit? What's the plan with that?
The the biggest thing I've noticed is gears. Like I kept when I first got in the 250, I kept dropping a second, and obviously, yeah, not so many people ride second gear on a 450,
Yeah,
and coming into turns, it it upsets the bike a lot. So just trying to ride third gear a lot more. But I think I'm the 450 is quite. I suit the 450 actually. Like
yeah,
I know everyone in 250 moving up to 450 says, "Oh yeah, 450 is going to be better for me, and I'm going to suit the 450 much more." But I never thought that. I thought, yeah, I'm a 250 guy, and I'm going to try ride a 250 as long as I can. But no, the 450 is good. I really enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to it.
So have you been? Have you got the new bikes yet? Have you been out? Are you at a stage where you're riding?
No, no,
Not yet.
don't
You
have a
can't be far
no,
away.
no.
No? You can't be far away from getting
I
out on
think I think they show up the start of December, so we'll crack
that. Okay.
onto it then. But we have time, a lot of
Yeah.
time.
So what's your plan in the meantime? Because you're in the UK now, I guess. So that'll be it. That you won't be going home. I guess that's just.
No, no, absolutely not. No, if I wanted to go home, I had to quarantine 14 days in a hotel plus I got to pay for it, so it's quite expensive. And we were planning to do the first 7 rounds of Supercross East Coast in America, but we had it almost all figured out. But then the hardest part was getting from Europe into the USA. So that didn't really plan out. So I had to put that flight on hold for a while. So that's a shame. But I'll just set the bike up and do pre-season. We'll probably go to Spain and have a couple of long hard weeks in Belgium, Holland. But other than that, just get ready for racing.
Yeah. So where in the UK? So are you staying with Sam, Mark? You know, or have you got your own?
I'm staying at Sam at the minute. Just because obviously I came to Sam and Mark, and we figured out a deal, and I was actually meant to fly straight out to America, so didn't really have much planned here for after that. But then that stopped it, so I just got to figure out what's next now.
Yeah. So what would be your? Have you got a schedule yet? Do you know what will be your first competitive race for the new team on the KX?
I would imagine Hawkstone.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's hope Hawkstone. Jesus, it better be better than what it was last year. I mean better. I don't mean detriment to Salop Club, who do an amazing job. I meant, let's be honest.
Yeah. I missed that. I missed it.
Oh, you done well.
Yeah.
I missed that. It was grim.
But I did the year before for the first time, and that it was wicked.
Yeah. So that's cool. So basically, it's you're all set to go then. I mean, it's an exciting year. You know what you can, in your own mind, what you're capable at the GPs. You know, so to go in there, do you reckon that takes a bit of pressure off going into the GPs, as in like doing, not obviously that's where you want to be. That clearly, you want to keep pushing forward and push on and be the best you can. But do you think, on the first year on a 450 to come in with a team like Revo and do selected rounds takes a little bit of pressure off, or does it hinder your development?
It's a bit of both. Depends which way you look at it. You could look at it like I've only got a couple of chances to do good, so you can put pressure on yourself, or you could look at it like I'm actually not meant to be here. Like, let's just take this opportunity and we'll see where we go. So I feel like I won't be putting too much pressure on myself. I'm not too worried. Like, if I have a good winter and I'm riding well, I should do pretty good, and we'll just get some good starts and see how I go.
Did you feel any pressure throughout leading the British Championship at all? Or did you just like, this is cool, just enjoying the experience, and it never really got under your skin?
I was at the start. I felt more pressure at the start because Fat Cats wasn't good for me, and then I was just having a couple of crashes at the start of each motor, pushing too hard. Then I'm like, I'm going to let this slip away, and then when I won and then I had the start straight crash at Desert Martin with the red plate, and then I was like, But then I rode really good in that moto. Then I won the second moto, and I'd never looked at myself as a sand rider, and then I won the second moto at Desert Martin against Vassen. So then I was like, this is actually that was pretty good. And then from then I didn't lose a moto, so I was quite happy with everything then.
I'm sure there'll be some viewer, as I said, I don't delve too much into doing research. Somebody would say that's poor journalism, but I don't care. I can't remember too many riders coming in doing their first ever attempt at British Championship motocross and winning. And I certainly can't remember too many. I'm sure there are, but I can't remember too many people going straight from MX, like literally then moving into MX1 and potentially winning that. Of course, you've got to get the job done. There's a whole year ahead and a lot can happen. But, you are going into MX1 British Championship as a title contender. And I mean, that would be pretty cool accomplishment to sort of just say, well, you've come in, first ever one, you won the MX2, and then second year you moved up and won MX1. I mean, you look confident. You always appear to be confident. Do you ever come into any kind of thing and have like too much self-doubt, or is it just literally as soon as that lid goes on, everything goes out?
No, yeah, obviously the plan is to win, obviously next year, and I think if I win next year, I won't ever race in England again. Just finish it that. No,
Yeah,
no, it's if I've done my preseason with my trainer and I've done everything like I can in the days leading up to it, I can't really doubt myself because I've done everything I can. And if I've stuck to my schedule and done my routine, and I can't change it. So if I overthink it, then I start, my race won't be as good and my weekend won't be good. But I think I'm pretty confident when the gate drops, because
yeah,
qualifying, like my qualifying's not the best. It's one of my weak points, but I know I get a good start no matter where I
yeah.
am. I know I've got early sprint laps that are good, so I'm pretty confident when the gate drops.
Yeah, you are a good starter. That definitely helps. I mean, you've seemed to come in the UK. You know, from the outside looking in, you seem a popular guy. Most of the riders I know seem to, I see you chatting with them and get on with them. MX1 is a very different proposition. Um, who do you see as? Obviously you got to go out there and win. But who do you see as your sort of going to be your main competition? Because the MX1 is a slightly different proposition to MX2. You got some experienced riders in there that have been in that class, for quite a long
Yeah, yeah,
time.
definitely.
Also know how to win championships. So who do you see yourself battling with? Obviously, you're going to be wanting to win races. So I guess what's your relationship like with Tommy, Nichols, all those guys?
Tommy, yeah, I get along well with Tommy. We have it's hard not to get along with Tommy, I think, and we get along good. I did a fair bit of riding with him last year,
Yeah.
so that was good. Nichols, never spoke to him in a day in my life, so
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know him from a bar of soap. Um, yeah, who else is there's
Well, I guess Elliot will be coming back, I suppose. Banks Brown. I mean, I don't know too much.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty decent dude. Never really spoke. I think I spoke to him here and there.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I
I
guess
think that
Sean Simpson will be doing it. I think.
he's a nice guy. He's a veteran now.
Yeah.
You'd say, and
It's going to be good. I mean, there's just three names there to mention.
yeah,
Like Martin Barr, Jake Shipton, the Millwood. I'm probably missing somebody obvious, so apologies for him. But it's a stacked out class, so it is going to be good for you, isn't it?
no, it's gonna be really good.
Like you said, you don't want to ever get to a point. People love winning, but it's never cool to go out and win like you were in New Zealand, where you're winning by. It just doesn't make it the same, does it? Everybody needs a level of competition to drive them forward, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's going to be a lot of people, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little bit different because there's a lot of people that's going to be fast. It's not going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of different winners too. So,
Yeah.
or like a lot of like people contending for a win. So it's going to be a lot different. It's going to be more of like an MX2 race to a MX1 race. Because
Yeah.
last year I think it was Tommy and Sean the whole time, and then like it was either those two. One of them was going to win unless something happened.
Well, it's certainly going to be good seeing you in the mix. I mean, it's you definitely bring a little bit of extra something to the British Championship. I think as I was talking to Mark in the week, obviously, just talking to Mark about Kawasaki stuff and whatever. And it's fair to say, as I said, you've got a degree of flair on the bike. You're always you're entertaining to watch. Let's put it that way. It's particularly like I said, over the jumps and stuff like that. So it's going to be good. It's been great to talk to you. I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing you out on the track at Hawkstone and whatever. And it's a real interesting story the last year or so for you, as I said, to jump on a plane and nearly get a pro circuit ride, nearly get a factory Yamaha ride. And a lot of people, that would dent their confidence a lot. Just think, oh, I'm just effectively pissing in the wind and not getting very far. But everybody's got a different route to the top, and it does seem like now to be into GPs at least. Not even though it's not a full season, you know, it's a stepping stone in the right direction, isn't it? And then to be back racing in the UK, let's just hope the world gets back to a level where we can do it. I don't think it'll ever be quite normal for a little while yet, but if we can just get back to the races, that will be something.
Yeah.
So
thank you for having me.
Oh, no, mate. Seriously, thanks for coming on. For those people watching, by the way, we're recording this on a Sunday, so Dylan hasn't got a bike to ride at the minute, so that's why he's given time to do this. We've had a few technical issues, but we got there in the end. I'll be seeing you anyway at some point from a Kawasaki point of view. I'm sure I'll be coming along to one ride day or even get out and have a spin. I would say with you, certainly not against you.
Sounds good.
But we'll do something, I'm sure. Wish you the best of luck with it, Dylan. And seriously, congratulations on picking up the new ride and racing in the UK next year. We're looking forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. So we'll be in touch. I will let Dylan get on with his Sunday, whatever that will be. Thanks for your time, mate. And yeah, we'll see you again soon. So that's Dylan Walsh, man in the van. Very interesting. I love that one. The fact that he's yeah, I mean, he's really chased the dream there, hasn't he? You know, and unfortunately, in some ways, it obviously didn't work out for him in America, but maybe he's going to get to the top via the UK, and that's always good for us over here. So again, thanks for tuning in. Another quick just reminder that you can trade in your Bell helmet. There you go. 20% off if you take your Bell helmet to a Bell dealer and trade it in and get a new one. It doesn't have to be that McGrath one there. It can be anyone you wish. And that's it for another episode 17. Dylan Walsh. I'm not sure who we're going to do for episode 18, but I'm sure I'll find somebody definitely worth talking to. Once again, thanks for tuning in and watching Man in the Van, brought to you by these guys, Relaxtorace, and these guys, FXR. That's it. I'm done. So I will see you next time with I don't know who, but we'll find somebody half decent. Till then, stay safe, everybody, and get your Crimbo shopping done while you can, as soon as we're allowed out again.